Thanks, Hugh. Hugh just stopping by. I be seeing these. You know, I be seeing these and I be like, what is this? But he told me what it was.
Let's just clear the air, right? I have an 06 M Coupe at home for my fun days, but I drive for work all the time. And what really worked for me was an X7, just because it's quiet, soft. It's a relaxing place to be all day in the car, right? Well, I was up at Leith getting some work done and I got a loaner car for 3 days and man, I did not want to give it back. I fell in love. So I know it's a little wacky looking, right? It's not your typical BMW styling. It looks very, very Asian market car, but the experience has overwhelmingly made up for that. And, you know, coming from high performance M cars and I had an X7 and 50 at one point, this is the fastest car I've ever driven, and it's just the 50i. It's the cheapest to own and operate. It's dead silent, makes no noise, so it's a very peaceful place to be. The stereo is incredible, the tech is great, it's comfortable. It has a bigger back seat than I had in the X7, strangely. And basically, I'm completely in love with it. I'm obsessed. This car is awesome. The BMW iconic sounds that Hans Zimmer helped them make for the car, so it's basically like your warp engine sounds when you're driving. It makes the experience because, you know, generally your electric cars don't make any sound and you hear rattles and you hear like weird road noise, but this kind of gives you a sound like you're doing something and it makes the experience. So it's good, it's good. It's not a Model Y, it's definitely a BMW premium product. And coming from an X7 guy, I'm in love with this and I would never think about an X7 again. All right, so for instance, I drive all the time. I was probably spending $5.50 in gas in the X7 in a month. My total electric bill to charge this at home in my garage was like 50 bucks and same amount of driving. You wanna see inside? Right. So of the ones that were available the day I went to look, this was the only one that was in stock that had the leather option and it made a difference. So that's why I chose this one. It's so clean and simple.
That's just the way that flows.
Yeah, it's very clean and simple. It's very open, it's very warm. I mean, it heats up, it cools off very well. I mean, it's not lacking anything. So I'll tell you one other thing, like before you get some shots of it. Yes. One of the #1 original complaints about some of this interior design from a lot of the people who were reviewing them, kind of your basic, hey look, the styling language has gotten rid of all of your physical buttons, everything's in screen now, it's more difficult and you gotta go digging. But actually, it's not really the case. They have put context buttons for your major menus all over the car. There's your lighting menu, there's your seating menu, this is your interior lighting, this is your drive modes. So to get to the things that you normally change and adjust all the time, it's just one button away and it is a physical button. So I don't know if these original reviewers just overlooked that, but they don't ever mention it. And they really make this much more accessible than having to go dig through context menus. So I have had no problem with that at all. The speakers, this is the Harman Kardon, and the speakers are in the headrest. So it's very 3D when you're riding around in there. Well, not in the front, but in the back, yeah.
In the back headrest?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Pull me over, you.
A lot of the comments too that you were hearing early was about the ride quality. So this has the package with the air suspension, and these are the 22, so they're the biggest wheel in this car, but it's not a harsh ride at all. It's totally soft and quiet, so I have no issues with that at all. And I think this car, it needs a bigger wheel to look better. I'll share one other thing. This car doesn't come from the factory with a hitch option, but there's an aftermarket option. This is the Ghost hitch that's made just for this car, and basically the receiver will just drop out of here if you don't need it. But I mean, I haul my bikes and stuff on it, and so this is really nice. And it's on the frame, and it was very easy to do. I think I spent 600 bucks on the hitch and another 500 to have it installed, and so got that too. Final thought, another reason why a lot of times people are scared to consider EV life as a commuter is because of the range anxiety. When I bought this, it was August, it was warm outside, and I was consistently getting like a 390, 380 range, which is, I drive to Atlanta if I need to, and there's chargers everywhere. That experience has been very simple and easy. Now that it's winter though, the battery has to heat itself, to operate efficiently and give you all the power and stuff. So there's a drain on it. My range is down significantly. It's more like 280, 290 in the wintertime versus 380, 390 in the summertime. So that's something to note. But still, that's almost 300 miles. and that'll get me anywhere I need to go. I've done a huge beach loop in this thing. I've gone to Greenville, South Carolina in it. So I've just never had a problem where I was like out of gas, you know, it was fine. That's all I got for now.
Hey, that's good.
Well, 2019 X3 340i M70, I believe it had 77,000 on it. Tires are great, brakes were great, no leaks whatsoever. We just knocked out all the maintenance, so it's up to date on that. Oil change, brake flush, coolant flush. It's ready for a new owner. But
sounds amazing.
yeah, it drives really good. I had another one too. We got this E92 M3 V8 6-speed manual. And this car was also super, super clean. So all we're gonna do is do the maintenance, and it had a little buildup around the valve covers. So we're gonna put valve covers on it and clean it all up, but it's super, super clean car. And it's a manual.
So good. So good.
Oh, let's go.
What's going on, everybody? It's Dan over at Atlas Motors with Jay again, driving another super awesome, super cool car that we just got in. This one's a 2011 E92 M3. 6-speed, gray on gray. This is a sweet car, man. This one only has 68,000 miles on it. It came to us from Texas. Fresh off the truck, this was one of our first drives in it. I really see why people like these cars so much. High revving V8. Great noises. It's comfortable. And I'm a sedan guy, but I kind of like the E92. In this car in particular, I kind of like it. Yeah.
Damn, he likes it.
It's stylish.
It's like that.
I like that.
Every downshift tickles my wallet.
It does. Jay, it's not surprising at all, but the gas light just turned on. That's where you're gonna be living, is the gas station when you have this car. But it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Driving and the police is behind us, of course. So change from motor mounts and you just testing it, just test drive. That's
Taking it for a drive. We did some brakes on it too. Need to bed those in. Can't really do that properly with the popo on a 6. Got to keep those eyes up for the pigs though. Trying to catch us riding dirty, Jay. You hear that?
Yep.
That's why we bed the brakes in.
Is this really just breaking them in, or what does that do?
It basically mates the surface of the rotor to the new friction material. Generally, you're gonna do 5, 6, 60 to 40 mile an hour slowdowns, and then you start out 40 to 20 and then go up to 60 down to 40 in that aggressive braking, and that will bed the brakes in. Don't come to a complete stop.
This is great.
Yep, there's a coating on the rotors and it starts to wear off after a couple of stops, and the pads get mated to the...
So that's why they look like that
Mm-hmm.
when you put them on. I've always wondered that. I was like, why do they look like that? Brakes don't look like this.
Yep, depending on the manufacturer, some of them put a coating on there to help with bedding it in. Some of them are just raw metal, but there's always, you know, no surface is perfectly flat, so they kind of have to wear into each other, and that process takes a bit of heat, causes some smoke and some smells. So you gotta get that out of the way before you give it back to the customer. Just the material, as it heats up, it off gases and stuff for the first time. So you gotta take care of that before you can get full braking power out of the new brakes. It's real fun when you bed racing brake pads in at night.
Look, I was gonna
or
ask
the
you
dark.
that.
It shoots sparks out.
What?
Yep, because they're high metallic compounds, so it's really cool to watch.
Hey Sean, if somebody wanted to DIY their work, their service on their BMW, what's some common tools they should buy?
You need a metric socket set and metric wrenches, torque spits, a little more extensive than your basic toolkit.
One of these to remove your oil cap, depending on your car. If you have an M54 car, this is good for N20s, N51s. But my most used tool is this right here, this set, and it's a bit driver set. And you use these for pulling off trim, door panels, just pretty much the entire car. This is my most used tool, hands down.
All right, I think everybody should own an old BMW at some point, especially 90s like this. Mid to late 90s is the best. You're so connected to the road. They're so reliable. There's nothing to distract you when you're driving. I don't know, it just doesn't get a whole lot better. And if I see you hop out of something like this, I immediately think you're a way cooler person. So yeah, buy one, do it. Just see if you can get one before they're gone. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, what's up, Jay? Excited, we've got some cool things coming forward. By the time you guys all see this video, my triple will be done and finished, and it'll be neat to look back on. But I purchased this 2024 Ineos Grenadier. It's located out at Mannheim, Denver. So my wife and I are actually flying out on Thursday, picking it up, doing a quick little trip to Breckenridge, and then out to Grand Lake, Colorado, do some snowmobiling, visit one of my best friends from college. Excited to see you, Jason. And yeah, we're gonna give a little in-depth of what we think about this vehicle and its natural habitat. And then when we're done with our trip, we'll get it shipped back here to Raleigh, and the Dans will get it together, get it sold, and one of you lucky individuals will get to enjoy this thing for a long time to come.